having a great thing right next to each other. Lance Curry on the yellow bike on the left, who won his gold medal in Foz de Guasu, and Mike Mason, who dominates at this event. And they're ready to take off. Here we go.
And Mason with a good jump. He's going to control the left-hand turn. Lance Curry, we talked about, he has the gold medal from Foz de Guasu. Mike Mason was not there to ride, and Lance was our 8th qualifier. Mason our #1 qualifier when you combine speed and style. So that is how they end up matched up.
There we go. 2 big flip tricks for these guys. Mason doing the heel clicker flip. The way this works is they will do 4 laps and do 4 jumps. Each one of the jumps is scored by our judges. And so you will get a speed score for your race and a style score for your jump right now. Mason already pulling away, and I absolutely love that trick from Mike Mason.
His right side up tricks are as flamboyant and extended and as incredible as anybody's. And I don't see Lance Curry here. There he is.
Oh, what happened there? Lance Curry obviously had some kind of trouble.
Something different. Oh, nice underflip for Mace.
Fantastic underflip. That was beautiful.
And I like the way he's going into the section after the big jump. He's not using the rut, which has kind of a kink in it. He's coming off the side, and he is absolutely dominating here. Although Lance has a gold medal in this discipline, we've expected domination from Mason. The question is, can anybody stop him here tonight?
But here we go, Mason coming through. Wow, big speed differential, almost 9 seconds on the speed side of things there. Mike Mason, he raced arena cross for many years, and that is a style of motocross racing indoors in tight arenas, which is why this is almost a natural environment for him. So here's how things started off.
And Mace got a great jump, and he controlled the situation. Now, had Lance thought about it, he could have dove underneath and tried to take position. He did not. He followed Mason to the outside, and different than in the past, all of your jumps off the ramp will count. In the past, at the checkered flag, the jump did not count, but this time they do. And Mason with really a walk away over Lance Curry.
And as you said, all of his tricks in that race look incredibly crisp. So Mason on form tonight, which really spells trouble for a lot of the other guys, but we have had surprises, to say the least, in our speed style competitions in the past, so it ain't over till it's over. And there we go, the style scores, huge for Mason, 96.89, that is a great score. So Mason will advance through to the next round. Lance Curry hits the showers early.
That is a huge combination score as we get set for our next quarterfinal.
Well, one of the world's greatest tennis tournament by Rolex. Morning coverage from Wimbledon Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern on ESPN, and also live on Watch ESPN. Some strawberries and champagne. Nothing like watching Wimbledon. Now, here's a great matchup.
This is a solid matchup. Now, Josh Sheehan is a rider from Australia. He's riding the red bike with the blue gear. He's a rider I know less about maybe than anybody else here. I haven't seen him in as many comps, but I know he has a double backflip. The ramp isn't set up for that tonight. It takes a specialty ramp for him. And Edgar Torrentieres, who we just saw.
The showman. I mean, he's amazing. What you've got to know about Josh, though, is that he has a 360, very big trick, and he is incredibly strong. No one spends more time in the gym than Josh Sheehan. The guy is absolutely ripped.
Well, Edgar Torrentieres used to spend quite a bit of time on a supercross track when he was younger. Actually held an amateur and a professional championship, if I'm not mistaken, in his home country of Spain, and has lots of talent. So,
let's take a look. Oh, nice. That was kind of interesting, because you haven't seen Edgar do that before.
Did you see Josh Sheehan's extension?
Well, I'm really interested in how fast Edgar was in the seeding round. He was second fastest behind Mike Mason in seeding, and he really seems to be able to make that two-stroke dance really well over a lot of the rhythm sections on this course.
And so Sheehan does the trick upside down, the full extension on the backflip, and going straight kiss of death, and then he does it right side up, which I think is very interesting, illustrating to the judges the talent of right side up and upside down, the same trick.
Watch this. So huge, massively extended cliffhanger.
And a 360 for Sheehan.
And remember, they're racing around this course and have to slow down and have the right speed to hit the tricks. Now, what Josh needs to do is just keep Edgar in his sights because he's definitely throwing some huge tricks.
We'll see. Edgar goes for the huge whip. I wonder with those scores, now the speed differential is less than +3. I think this could go the other way. I think the Sheehan might advance because of strength on his freestyle tricks.
And certainly Edgar really was a lot lower, almost 4 points lower in seeding on his freestyle tricks. So let's take a look as the scores drop. 89.33. Well, there it is, the combined scores. Sheeny advances, you're right, Cameron. The freestyle was enough to take Torrent Terrace out. Great move for Josh Sheehan. Unfortunately, Edgar is done for the night here in Speed and Style at X Games Munich.
And what they're looking at here, they're looking at the scoring and to make sure there was a mistake one time.
Mason, that's right.
And they want to clarify. Good job by Edgar controlling the start and controlling the race. He needed to gap more. This was great.
Big whip flip, but look at that kiss of death.
Oh my.
Hanging underneath that bike.
Sheehan has some of the biggest tricks in the sport, and then Sheehan brought it back, going right side up. A really phenomenal freestyle run, and then you add in the 360, which only he and Nate Adams will be doing in this competition.
That's right, yeah. Nate coming up in a little while. That Edgar, unfortunately, out of the competition for now.
So happy.
Race number 3, Speed and Style. On the left there, in an incredibly bright outfit, I have to say. That is Javier Vieja. Oh, Javier Viejas. Matt Rabot is on the right-hand side. And Matt, actually, he looked really comfortable out on that race course.
He did, and you know, we've talked a lot about Matt and his skills. Now, you'll notice both of them are riding with their flip bars up.
Both got a good start.
And Javier trying to go underneath. It's a great move.
Matt made a comment to me about his first race. He's like, I'll be okay so long as Javier behaves himself in the corners, because he knew that Javier is going to start doing this. Dive underneath him and try to cut him off. Nice! Oh. After a battle like that, to get your concentration back, that level of trick is amazing. Here we go. Matt in the corner, but Javier's just dogging him. He's not going to let him get anywhere.
Now, if he shows him the tire here, he doesn't. That is a sketchy spot to really get close to contact.
I think Javier understands that too. They both need to be set up into the ramp. There are lots of turns on this course for him to dump that nose under.
But not right before the ramp jump. That would be... Now watch Javier go inside. He jumps it in. Oh! And he makes it work.
Matt Rabot is not going to be happy about that.
Rabot still flips,
but he came up short. I think he was a little bit unnerved by that. Matt almost under-rotated that flip, but he's mad now. He's just chasing Javier down. But I don't think he's going to catch Viejas.
Oh, maybe. Here we go. Fireworks right at the end.
I got a feeling maybe the officials are going to have a little word with these guys.
I love it. As long as no one gets hurt, it's great. And I don't like the contact right before the ramp, but the fans do.
Rabot got punted completely across the course. Well, I mean, this is all down to the freestyle tricks, and they both compromised their tricks on that last jump because of that little beating and banging in the last corner.
The first jump, I think Rabot had the advantage on the trick, which I think is going to be really important because he impressed the judges early. Here's the start. Now, Rabot has the jump. Watch VS get on the brakes, He goes on the binders and tries to go underneath.
Almost gets him right there, but Matt was smooth on the outside.
It was definitely a precursor to things to come.
Oh, that was just the start of it all.
Here's the first jump. I think that was probably the highest scoring individual trick of the session by Rabot, but the cliffhanger flip, the Cordova flip later by Javier will be solid. I wonder if you get some bonus points for that kind of ride.
Well, you know, the interesting part there is Matt had nowhere to go. He was, you know, he was forced off the berm. And here's the
last jump. When was the last time you saw a no-footed can-can as a trick?
And you're kind of hoping that both guys are going to whip the same way. Super, super close. Watch this again. In the final corner, coming to a 75-foot ramp.
Wow, it's going to come down to the freestyle score. I think it's going to be very close. Oh, incredibly close. Javier is going to advance.
Oh, and they're both smiling. So Javier Viejas takes out Matt Rabot. And he's surprised by that. So the win in the race was enough. Antoine Rabot, Matt's dad, also shaking his hand.
That was so close. I mean, that was so incredibly tight. And the third seed was Matt Rabot, so the number 6 seed, Javier Viejas, he makes it work.
Great racing in that round. The Confederations Cup continues Sunday at 11:45 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2 as Uruguay and Italy play for third place. Then at 5:30 on ESPN, Brazil takes on España, Spain for the championship. The FIFA Confederations Cup third place match Sunday at 11:45 a.m. on ESPN2 and the final at 5:30 p.m. on ESPN. Both matches are also live on Watch ESPN. Race number 4 in the blocks. Race number 3 was a doozy and a great win there for Javier Viejas and Matt Rabot putting everything into the end of that.
Now the story here is Nate Adams on our right in the all white with the purple. Ronnie Renner in the black and yellow. They both have racing backgrounds. Nate Adams has 10 times the tricks of Renner. So the question is, will Renner get a little medieval to get to the front here?
Well, I think Renner knows how to race.
Sends Nate.
There we go. So Renner doesn't have nearly the level of tricks that Nate does, but for sure, he knows how to race.
360 for Nate Adams. Now, we've seen it already with the scoring with Sheehan over Torres. If Nate can stay close to Renner, he can capitalize on his trick ability. You will not see Renner go upside down, although he does have a backflip in his arsenal, not using it.
Yeah, I think the smart move here is for Nate just to calm down and keep running in his sights as he does there.
In the rhythm section, Renner gapping him a little bit. Nate had caught up pretty close. We'll see.
I mean, right now, you've got maybe a couple of seconds, but
not enough.
Nate's tricks are just huge, and he's definitely going to have a big margin in the freestyle part of our speed and style. 1.38 is all that separates him on the race course.
It's not going to matter.
No, Nate is just going to dog him all the way to the finish, put in a big banger trick to finish this one.
Well, they
haven't finished yet.
Yeah, it's not over yet. And Nate, the ultimate nice guy. I mean, of course, Ronnie Renner has a great personality and fun, and he got a little rough with it. You got to respect it.
No, nice. Renner just wasn't going to surrender.
Oh, Nate's going to rev up. Oh, Nate's rev. I thought he was going to chase him up. Josh Hansen style or something, you know, cause a little controversy.
So 1.43 seconds. That's the differential in speed. And let's go back to the start on this one, and both guys got a good jump.
I was impressed. Renner had the jump, but he had that outside line. I was a little surprised Renner didn't try to drop to the inside to control, but it didn't matter because he already knew he was going to have this inside line, and he was basically just going for it.
He was really going for it.
Nate tried to shut it off, and Renner just came in and said, hey, guess what?
Oh, yeah, Renner really just railing those berms, too. And here we see Ronnie with the ruler. And some good tricks, but when the guy behind you can do a lazy boy flip, those right side tricks are just not going to cut it.
Nate not getting everything he wanted there.
So maybe.
Look at that.
There we go. Big differential. Nate Adams going through to the next round.
I'm going to say he just roosted
Speaking of
the camera operator pretty well there. And that's his new parking spot.
Thank you. Well, quarterfinals are in the books right now. Semifinals of Speed and Style at X Games Munich coming up next. Mike Mason looks unbeatable, but can any one of the other guys take him down? You were talking about this one, Cameron. I think this is a really interesting match.
I believe. I mean, Sheehan with his 360 and his inversion tricks that he can do, he can strongly outpoint Mason. Mason was 3 seconds faster in his heat race in his quarterfinal than Sheehan, but Sheehan far outscored. And look at this. I think we see tactics.
Sheehan's like going to take it calm. He needs to keep Mason in his sights, keep close to him, and then pull the huge tricks. So Sheehan had the highest freestyle score in the last round. Mason was the fastest, and he just looks ridiculously fast through that rhythm.
Heel click flip for Mace. Look at that.
Whoa! That looked like a Levi Sherwood kiss of death. He was so kind of scorpion out, his back bent. Josh Sheehan, huge execution. But again, he's got to keep Mason close.
And right now, I think that the tone he set for himself in the speed, I think it's going to cost him. I think he's letting it go too far.
Over 3 second differential, and Mason's going to keep pulling away unless Josh really gets on it.
Now, if we get the underflip from Mason, I think that's a strong score for Mason. We'll see what he throws, but Sheehan, I'm expecting to see a 360. Oh, nice underflip.
So 4:29, so the differential another second up.
And that was a 360 for Sheehan.
But look, you can't even see Sheehan just coming into that corner now. So Mike Mason is going to come across the line. I think he's going to have 5 seconds easily on Josh Sheehan. Let's take a look. Sheehan coming in now. Big trick to finish it off. 5.14.
All right, your crystal ball. Yes.
You think he's got more than 5 points over Mason?
I think he's got more than 5 points over Mason. I do. Mason had good freestyle tricks, but on I really think on the execution of that tsunami backflip, the straight kiss of death backflip, that could be the hardest trick. I mean, Todd Potter won some medals with that trick, as another
trick, and really extended that trick about as big as we've ever seen it done.
The 360 from Sheehan, also difference maker.
Look at this, Mike Mason getting a fantastic start. Josh Sheehan doesn't really look like he wants to challenge him at that point.
No, but I think the mistakes that Josh made early, this is beautiful.
Underflip. See that? Perpendicular to the direction of travel. When your bike is completely sideways, upside down, textbook underflip from Mason.
And maybe it's not worth more than 5 points. I mean, Mason's underflip right there is stunning, to say the very least.
Shoulders under. That's fantastic. So let's see what the judges think about that. But 360s from Sheehan. You know, the guy has so many massive tricks. Can do the double backflip like it's nothing.
And there's the...
Wow! Hello. Big surprise. All the judges like Mike Mason's freestyle tricks there. And he will advance into the hunt for another gold medal.
Much respect to Mason. He deserved it. We look back at that underflip, but I think the judges are crazy when they don't judge the 360 and that kiss of death backflip stronger. I'm just saying. So Mason advances through, and Sheehan will have to go into the bronze medal match. And Javier Villegas coming up next versus Nate Adams. This quarterfinal is an epic racing. Great stuff. I'm really just, you know, speed and style, you could look at it and say it's kind of an also-ran sport. You know, it's not freestyle, it's not racing.
But look at that.
It produces some of the best racing that we see. And there's great freestyle. There's great upsets. There's great stories to be told. And there's great questions with the points and the scoring. I mean, it really is a phenomenal event.
So we know that Javier Villegas is not afraid to punt someone off the course. He'll really start driving into you if you get in his way. Well, does that make Adams nervous?
Well, look, thinking about it a different way if you're Javier, I mean, you're going to bang into Matt Rabot. Yeah, okay, I mean, you're going to bang into Matt Rabot, who's a great freestyle rider, but Nate Adams is arguably the most amazing freestyle rider of our time right now. I mean, he's coming back from injury, so he hasn't really got to his full potential possibly again, but so decorated. Will Javier bang into him like he will Matt Rabot? I'm not discounting Rabot's skill level.
I think that Javier really is hungry for this win, and I don't think he cares who's racing next to him. I think he just wants that win, and he's going to go hard for it. But Nate Adams, unbelievable rider.
Matt Rabot, I'm not discounting Rabot's skill level.
I think that Javier really is hungry for this win, and I don't think he cares who's racing next to him. I think he just wants that win, and he's going to go hard for it. But Nate Adams, unbelievable rider, and certainly going to be hard to take down. More Nate, let's go to Aaron.
Tess, Nate Adams told me that since he's taken that bronze medal, he's gone home, he's been fine-tuning his tricks, he's focused on corners and starts and putting in some fast laps. He knows that Mike Mason's going to be extremely tough to beat, but he's planning on taking home that second gold medal here at Speed Style.
And do we have a replay? Javier not only has the inside, but he has the lead, and checks up, and Nate goes to retaliate a bit, it looked like.
Well, here they need to be calm. They got to be really smooth going over and doing these big tricks. Nate was smart there. He didn't push it too hard. 360.
Now, a knack flip for Javier, I would say, is nowhere near the strength of a 360 of Nate Adams, but after seeing the scores that Sheehan received with the 360, maybe doesn't play as hard.
And Nate's still pushing that front wheel in. He's got to be careful that he doesn't take himself down, though. So again, pulls it back a bit.
Cordova flip,
and a lazy boy flip.
Well, you pick it. You tell me.
The lazy boy flip, you detach from the bike completely with the hands, so it has to be a bigger style score. And again, Nate, he's just keeping Javier close. Oh, that's what I was talking about. The mistake you make is you wash out on the front wheel.
And really, it looked like he went to make the contact, but then tried to make it not as severe.
And the interesting thing there, Javier, a very weak right side up trick.
Nate can't get his bike refired.
Oh, no. So he's going to be lapped.
Dropping your four-stroke.
Oh, wow.
And he gets lapped. Javier is going to the final against Mike Mason.
I told you he was hungry. Nate Adams didn't have to do that. He just had to keep Javier close, and he would have won on style points.
Would he have, though? Would he have, though? That's the question here.
That is the question. So there, Javier Villegas. He's going through to the finals against gold medalist Mike Mason from Barcelona. And I think we've seen a Javier Villegas that wants a gold medal bad.
Taking a look back at the start, Nate came over on Javier. Javier checked up, almost got the tough block, but then he had control here. He had the inside line
on the inside.
And here's where Nate tried to take it to Javier. And I really think it was Nate trying to be a nice guy when he came in for the hit. I mean, he tried to keep it not as dirty as
you can see that the pegs of Javier's bike is what caught Nate's front tire and washed it out. So, but that's the risk you take when you're trying to get in on the inside there. And there, that trick at the end from Javier, he was a little rattled.
Nate going on militia about it, getting bit back. Remember that giant hit Stenberg put on Rabot a few years back?
Then Mason and Diaz discussing the final. I wonder what Mason was saying to him. So we're waiting for the scores from our judges, but again, the huge time differential there.
It doesn't matter.
I mean,
no need for scores.
It's gonna be almost impossible to surpass that. The scores, Nate Adams in the corner, dejected. Now he's gonna have to go and race for the bronze.
And bronze medal between two great trick riders, Sheehan and Adams.
Both with the 360 and both going against each other. So the race is going to be very, very important between Nate and Josh.
I know.
Okay, so speed in the final would go to Mason.
Mason, for sure.
And what about the tricks? To Mason as well? I don't know.
So there we go. Javier Villegas advances through to the gold medal round. Nate Adams will go through to the bronze. So already a little bit of surprise and perhaps an upset in speed and style. Javier Villegas takes down Nate Adams. Will meet Mike Mason in the final of speed and style from X Games Munich.
I'm really impressed with both of their riding. I think that, you know, if you go back to that last round with Nate, I think that the guy that lets off the gas, and I think he might have nice guided a little bit when he came in to hit, the guy that lets off the gas usually hits the dirt. So we'll see what happens here, but both riders with the 360, both riders with huge inverted tricks. Both are capable of doing great right side up tricks. I think at this point, it's going to come down to the racing. So the question is, will we see some banging for a medal here? One guy's going to get a bronze, one guy is going to get nothing.
Here we go. Josh Sheehan on the left, Nate Adams in the lead right now. And they both have relatively slow speed scores in seeding. So I think they're close in terms of the racing. The tricks should really define this one.
And let's see what happens right out of the gate.
Big three. Huge kiss of death from Sheehan.
Both amazing. I mean, those are two of the 5 toughest tricks in freestyle motocross that you would normally see in a run, except for those specialty tricks. You know, we can start talking about, but both of those tricks right up there with body burials, double backflip, obviously I would think is a whole other level. There's the lazy boy flip.
So Nate got all of that, but look at that, the differential, 2.16 seconds. That's he needs to twist that throttle and start chasing Nate Adams down because he doesn't want a differential of more than 3 seconds, because then I think Nate's going to take this one.
Sheehan from Australia has 1 medal to his credit. He hasn't competed in mini X Games. There's the 360.
Big lazy 360 from Sheehan, too. Really nicely executed. 2.9 seconds. Nate is starting to run away a little bit.
This is going to be a bronze medal for Adams. I think just due to the racing, purely the scoring is very close.
Okay, what trick does Sheehan finish it off with?
Who do you give the advantage just on the last trick there? I think
Sheehan looked crisper in a lot of the tricks he was doing.
Almost 4 seconds.
That's a big margin. In a freestyle contest, you know, for Nate Adams to be beaten by more than 4 points.
And no one ditched it. Incredibly close. Nate
Drops
Adams.
Down. Yeah, Adams takes it. So Nate Adams.
He had the style score as well. So advantage on both to Nate Adams.
So
I'm sorry, Sheehan had just a little bit better style score. I read that backwards.
Disappointment for Nate Adams with the bike going down in that matchup with Javier Villegas, but he goes home with a bronze medal from X Games Munich. Look at this. Nice turn up onto that berm. And Sheehan looked pretty good at the start.
I thought we were going to have a little battle there in that next turn, but look at that.
Big, beautiful. Look at the kiss of death.
Wow. I think right there, that's probably where the nod on the tricks comes from for Sheehan. I think the kiss of death flip trumps the lazy boy flip.
And here, Nate Adams does what looked like a pretty tentative no-hander.
Yeah,
that through is so perfect.
It didn't look like Nate got his trick there. So maybe you could argue for a little bit more of a separation.
He will take it. Yeah, of course he will. So bronze medal already in the books. That means we're going to the gold medal matchup. Speed and Style, X Games Munich. Mike Mason, who is no stranger to the gold, and Javier Villegas from Chile. And no Chilean athletes ever won an X Games gold. How did he get here, Cameron?
Well, he got here, he rode tough, he rode smart, he was willing to battle, and Nate Adams went inside and tried to make contact to make it work, and Javier, it looked like he just leaned in with the shoulder. Nate got off the gas, and Nate was on the ground.
Well, let's get a little bit more on Javier Villegas from Aaron Bates. Aaron.
Thanks, Tess. Well, Mike Mason just said to me right before he goes up for this final that he is coming off that gold medal in Barcelona, and the momentum is definitely in his court. He said that this track is extremely tight. He's hoping that his arena cross experience is going to pay off because it gets your heart rate sky high. He said you can expect that it's going to be extremely aggressive out there. He's going to do whatever it takes to take home the three-peat.
The quote, whatever it takes, which we've already seen some good action.
The question is, will there be a lap that doesn't involve any bar banging?
Mason, former arena cross rider, he spent some time in the stadiums racing.
Mason just wants to get away from him. He wants to get clear of Javier Villegas.
Javier's going to check up, go underneath, but Mason is going to be ready for it.
There is Mason's arena cross skill that allowed him to get in front of Javier Villegas.
Here comes Javier to the inside.
Whoa! Mason's trying to get as much clean air as possible here.
Big heel clicker flip.
So differential already 1.5 seconds. Look at that, Mason. I mean, he's just got to pull away. That's the tactic that Mike Mason needs to rely on here. He's coming through for jump number 2 of 4.
And here's Mason. Let's see what Javier throws.
Big holy grab and the Cordova flip from Javier, really nice, well executed, nice landing, but look, it's creeping up to almost 3 seconds differential in speed.
Not gonna work.
3 points in the freestyle portion, and I don't think Javier Villegas is 3 points better than Mike Mason right now, especially after this underflip. Beautiful, rolls the shoulders, bikes perpendicular.
I want to take back. I was talking about the 360 of Sheehan and the scoring with Mason. I think still Sheehan should have better scoring, but that underflip right there is a big reason why Mason is getting those scores.
So Mason coming over for the last time.
Pulls tied up.
Pulls a clean trick. Let's look at the differential. Wow,
Well,
still
Javier mailed it in. He slowed way down.
8.65 seconds. I don't know what happened. If he really slowed down, did he check up? Did something happen? He missed that, but almost 9 seconds. This is Mike Mason's gold medal, folks. But of course, we're not the judges, Cameron.
No, and thankfully we're not. That's one job I wouldn't want to have.
So we're looking for the judges' scores for freestyle.
So basically Javier would have to score 9 points better than Mason, which is not going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I really feel like Mason's going to have the better freestyle score as well.
Let's take a look at a few replays from this race. The start, and this is where it really happened.
Well, you know, I think Mason, being the smart racer, knew exactly what Javier was thinking about diving underneath. He just protected it right out of the gate. Never gave Javier a chance to give him a wheel. Javier got close at one point on that first lap, but Mason had great tricks. Javier had great tricks. This is the gold medal match, though. You need to win, and you need to put down solid tricks, and that's what Mason did.
But still, great racing and great riding from both guys. This, to me, such a beautiful trick that very few guys do. And if they try it, they don't do it well.
I was just going to say, very few guys do it right.
So here we go.
The style to Mason.
So he's got it. 96.66 combined gold medal for Mike Mason, and a really well-deserved silver for Javier Villegas.
No one's told Mike yet.
Yeah, he doesn't know. Well, let's have someone tell him. Let's go down to Aaron Bates, who's with Mike.
Mike Mason's reaction says it all. You pulled off exactly what you set out to do. You took home your 3rd gold medal here in Speed and Style. But coming into tonight, you said that you have got this. Was there ever a moment of doubt?
Well, there's always a moment of doubt. Like on a track like this, the start could mean everything. I mean, you've seen Javier get in there and making passes and shaking everything up. So I was worried the whole time, but I've been working really hard since Barcelona, and I felt pretty prepared coming in here, so I knew as long as I got starts, I should be okay.
Mike, you had said earlier that this is serious competition, but from the outsider's perspective looking in, it looked as though you guys were having a lot of fun out there tonight.
Yeah, Speed and Style is so much fun, man. I was telling you earlier, it's like half of the vet class out here. You know, we're all washed up freestyle riders, so we come out here and stuff each other and start laughing, and that's what I love about it. You know, it's fun for all of us. We're all competitive, but at the same time, we're back here laughing about the race and afterwards.
An aggressive track on such a tight track tonight. It gets your heart rate going. How do you deal with that, the additional pressure?
I just focus on what I got to do. You know, I know the tricks I'm going to do. I know the lines I'm going to hit, and just kind of pay attention to that, you know. And like I said, the start is everything on a track like this. Especially with Javier getting in there, I knew I had to get him on the start, and luckily it worked out.
Mike, congratulations tonight on taking home another gold medal, adding it to a collection of hardware.
And there you are, the medals tonight. Bronze for Nate Adams, silver for Javier Villegas, and gold again for Mike Mason.